you, it opens doors, helping you build trust, really cement that relationship, building that long-term lasting relationship. And more importantly, especially you as that total risk manager, trusted advisor that business owners want and need. So let's talk about some benefits of uncovering, helping your clients with their business life insurance needs. So in the chat, go ahead and drop a few of your thoughts on what some of the benefits. Why did you want to do this? And let's see what you have on your mind. That's right, Kelly. Part and multiply. That's right. Business continuation. Large and likely. Gaps. Cross sale conversion. First, very good. Spot on. You know, one of the things it does, and this is the thing about business life, it'll help you start to have some of those hard times and open the door for you for more strategic planning, succession, and many of the things that you're mentioning in there, key person, mindset, executive bonus, all of the things we're gonna talk about later. But it really sets you apart. I mean, most of us, we all help our clients with their personalized needs. But then when you also add to your business, helping your business owner clients with their business needs, then you open up whole new opportunities for you to grow your book because those business owners, they'll give you those referral and favorable introductions. It allows you to cross sell naturally, not only to their personal needs, but not only just business life or business continuation, but what if they want to do some retirement planning? You can help them with that. You can also help them with some of their health needs if you had to go through that disability, do brokerage. So again, we can be that total risk manager and that trusted advisor, which means you will then make a real, a true discernible impact. You're not just selling, you're helping businesses protect their business, their family, their life, and more importantly, their future. And you're a big part of it. So we want to encourage you to make that a part of your business. Because as a business owner, you have the choice. I mean, again, country, we are total risk management. Just about help everybody with something that they need. So you have a choice depending on what you want to focus on, where you want to be good, and we would just encourage you to consider adding business life insurance as well as commercial to your mix and growing your strong problem agency, country financial, So, all right. No upset, opportunity, growth potential, and the real impact it can take into you. But it is worth simple. It's not always as my good friend and market for our area director, Mr. Joe Gertler, he say, look, it's not always free. So what are some of the things I think that stop you from school business life as part of your business? What are some of those challenges in the chat? And some of your thoughts. What are the things from pursuing this in the business?
Movie.
Okay, underwriting. All right. Job, lack of doubt, wow, business plan, absolutely. And see, this is what I love about this session. We're gonna take this scary out. You're gonna find you have everything and all the resources to support you to be successful, to help business owners, business like this. But thank you so much for that. And you are absolutely spot on with that. But we're gonna help. And starting with help, we had Mr. Derek. And Derek is going to share with us how you can unlock the power of business life insurance in your agency. Derek can kick us off as I take down our. Look forward to hearing a little bit about you. How you get started, country financial, how you got into the business, what you've done to build your team there, but really, more importantly, what got you involved with being in the business life insurance space?
Thank you, Mike. I know many of you are a lot of names of the folks that are on. But I've been with Cotton States and Country. I'm one of those few remaining old Cotton States agents years ago. Some of you have been around long enough, you remember that whole transition period. I'm one of them left. So thrilled that the country had an opportunity or Cotton States had an opportunity to join the country, because it's been, in my opinion, pretty dark there ever since. So, but yeah, so I guess I've been with Cotton States for pushing 25 years. So it's been a little bit of my life that I've been here. Mike, I actually got in business shortly after I got out of the Army. Didn't really know what I wanted to do when I grew up. My insurance agent, my personal life insurance agent at the time, was with a company called the Foresters. They're a fraternal insurance company out in Toronto. I went to work with them. I was an agent. They had my 6 and 63, so I was handling financial services as well. Went in management with them, what all 20 somethings want to do at the time. And then left them after about 10 years and said, okay, what am I going to do now when I grow up? Found Cotton States, and frankly, been with Cotton States and Country ever since. And absolutely love what I did for a living. I love it to help people get paid very well to do it. Because I know no other place will go, and we're the only ones that are going to offer, a cash type of solution to somebody's most pressing problems. Be it their car was destroyed, their home, burned to ashes, God forbid somebody died. We're the only three that did this. So for a lot of the newer agents, it's called, I should have heard that, but you're the ones bringing good news that you've been in some type of catastrophic event in their life. We're there for them, and there to be that undergirding and that support for them to help them through those financial times. And we get paid very well to do it. So just bear that in mind. That's just a little bit of my history. And love it. I'm gonna continue here through my retirement or until my retirement.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your team. How you're structured. What kind of team do you have in place? And I know you're going to share with us about how you came about business. Like, what a little bit about your team, how you're structured.
Okay. Well, I have 8 people on staff. Okay. Some focus just on administrative issues, others that do a combination of administrative and sales. And then I've got a couple of associate agents. Their sole focus is to go out and hunt it, kill it, gut it, and skin it. Sure. That's my odd vernacular. But I feel like I get to had associate agents come because they couldn't cut it. We all know being in this business, it takes a special breed to come here and stay here and build it into a career. I eventually want those associate agents to become career agents. And it takes time. But I've got a great team. My office manager is turning 40 next week, has worked with me since she was 18 years old. Wow. For your older, more seasoned agents out there, I just literally got home yesterday from a cruise. I took her and a couple other people on my staff, my wife and I, just on a short cruise, just to say thank you and celebrate with her 40th birthday. So it's important to me. It's very, very take good care of your people. Because without my support staff, I certainly wouldn't be able to do what I do.
Sure. So business life, how did that come about for you?
Well, from a commercial perspective, I've been one of the top producers for commercial insurance for a few years now. Getting interested in that because we've all had those challenges in the past. Home rates going up, automobile rates going up. At the end of the day, it's one of those things we've got to deal with it. I don't like it anymore, the next person likes it. Again, it's what we do. As a result of that, I got a commercial, business market, talking to, for a while, about apartment, owners in the event they have a national, bring anymore, but, restaurants, contractors, we have a great commercial product, and I pursued that, pursued it heavily. A lot of premium, that you gather on the commercial side. More importantly, business owners, their rate goes up slightly. Fortunately, on the commercial side, we haven't had a whole lot of, have to deal with them. It's a good place to be, because the business owners, their premium went up $100 a year. You're not going to get home, because they don't care. They're moving on, they're focused. So that's how I got into it. It just naturally happened. Business life insurance side, because I had so many business owners that I started asking these financial questions. And as a financial advisor, I want to talk to them about, hey, do you have a simpler, do you have a 401k? No, that's what I thought. Sure. Well, people those don't. Possibly, solo 401k if you're an independent guy, you're by yourself, maybe you can buy part of your business. But from my point of view, I will always talk about life insurance to those business owners, regardless of whether it's a, small, a single guy by himself, a husband, wife, he's got, 30 employees or more. I'm still going to talk about life insurance.
Yeah, it's interesting to say, I know Randy McFarland, one of our very successful reps in the Chicago area. He used to have a funny little quote about why he likes to work with business owners. He says, because they all talk and chew gum at the same time, and, he's joking, but basically, to your point, they're out there building businesses to help their families, to be able to help others and set their life. So they're serious. And when you come in and you have a source for, that only helps in that relationship as far as that's concerned for helping them. So in the beginning, Derek, I know you're one of our best in this, and you've done a fantastic job with that growing your agency. What were the kinds of things you did to prepare yourself to engage in business like insurance? That would be beneficial to many of the call.
Great question. Vast majority of my business, life insurance approaches have been with my existing clients.
Okay.
If we generate those clients, just to back it up in a number of different ways. My staff will add, through the course of asking various questions, we'll find out what do they do for a living. You work for yourself, you work for somebody else. Sure. I've also got a marketing specialist who goes out to her sole purpose in life every day is to walk into businesses and say, hey, sure, about your financial, we'd love to talk to you about your insurance. Okay. And they're either going to tell her, yeah, talk to you about it, which does really happen. One of my largest commercial cleaning companies, custodial companies, she just walked in. And now we're making up to about $75,000 a year in premium from the Seaside. Sure. So that's what she does every day to, generate leads. We wind up quoting. But once they're clients, we start building that relationship. I'll start talking again about the financial approach to simple, the 401k, things like that. And like I said before, naturally, life insurance becomes part of that conversation. Because I'm a firm believer in you've got to have a solid base of life insurance. It's part of their overall financial plan. You just have to have it. The business owners have, they've got a lot of things going on. They have, and I saw several of the things mentioned before they got their thoughts on business insurance. If they have a key employee, is that something to talk about? They want to insure that key employee. Are there multiple owners of the business? Therefore, you need to discuss, up cross purchase buy sell arrangement. And then I am a huge opponent. This is where I get most of my large cases from executive bonus. Okay. All about some executive bonus. Okay. And I've generated some pretty substantial premiums. Okay. Executive bonus.
Now, come forward. Why executive bonus compared to the other two? What really lit you on fire about executive bonus versus the other two?
Great question. Years ago, I was looking for ways to examine what are the best ways to approach business owners. And not necessarily everybody has not everybody has a buy sell requirement. But in my opinion, every business owner out there has a base life insurance. But again, as part of it, they need to begin focusing on what are their long-term plans for retirement. And where I approach the business owners, hey, a lot of them, they make too much money to contribute to a normal IRA, Roth or traditional. Yes, I'll talk to you about the backdoor IRA ways to do that. But that's a different discussion. Okay, but if they make too much money to contribute to an IRA, maybe they have a simple or 401k set up and they're maxing their contributions to that. But what other ways are there to put money away from retirement? Life insurance. Okay. An executive bonus is a great approach. Whenever I ask them, are you familiar with what executive bonus is? I can think of maybe 2 times ago business owners shook their heads to be like they had heard about it. Right. So I want to explain it to them, how it can be beneficial for the business. Whether they're C Corp, an S Corp, or an LLC, there are benefits to have. Okay. So that's how I get it. So if you want, I can into on it. Oh, please. All right. Well, executive bonus for those of you who don't know, it's a great space to. Basically, business is going to pay the premium for the life insurance for either a key employee, and I sell a lot of it, or the owner and spouse if they co-own business. And they're both as board. And as far as payroll goes, like if they're a subchapter S, they've got to pay themselves a certain amount of payroll. And most of the time they take the rest of their money out of dividends. So it doesn't really matter. Same thing with an LLC. Business pays for the life insurance. They own it, they control it, and all the cash value that builds up from that is theirs, not the business's. Now, where a lot of people get confused on executive bonuses, because it's considered payroll. You get to deduct from the business for payroll. Well, not necessarily. The law doesn't necessarily allow you to make that deduction of payroll for tax purposes for the business. Because an LLC or subchapter as their pass-through corporations. However, there is a certain amount that it's going to reduce the overall tax liability of subchapter S, for example. So there are tax benefits too. And then since that payroll is being paid, let's use an owner as an example, it's being paid that premium. You do what's called a double bonus that takes care of that initial taxation that individual owner is going to have to pay on that. It's just a double bonus executive bonus plan. I'm sorry, I want to overcomplicate it there. I'm working, I'll give everybody on the call an example. Last year I finished with about 135,000 in a year. That did meet my personal goal. I was shooting for 150,000. I didn't quite get there, but 135,000, I still made executive budget. It was good. I enjoyed that extra time in Greece. Absolutely. So this year so far, I'm at about 60,000 premium. The key thing is right now I've probably got another 150,000 out there that in fairness I haven't written yet, but it's been proposed to some business owners. One of them was a $75,000 a year premium, 10-pay plan. So haven't anything yet, which I can say I haven't, but it's in process. Another one, it's got 80,000. I haven't inked that yet either, but these are all executive bonus plans that I've been talking to them about. And they seem excited about the possibility. And obviously when you propose a premium that size, it's not something that you should expect just like that. It takes time. They have to understand how it's going to affect them. One of the guys, he's going to take out that excess money and count it as a dividend out of the subchapter S and pay first string out. And the behind the scenes tax, obviously I'm not licensed advice on that. And I encourage them all to try to talk to their tax professionals. About, how we properly pay for it, account for it, and all that stuff. I don't get into it. But what I do share with a plan like this, and you've got, the tax deferred that handle property in both gets the policy tax-free money that you have available to you. In your executive bonus plan, their whole life. Like I said, on these two I'm working on currently, they're both 10-pay programs. I sold about $45,000 a year last year on it as part of the 20-pay. So it's going to depend on the age of the client, what their goals are, how far out are they out from retirement. There's different ways inside our software to make it more cash rich, payment conditions and various other options. That's something Scott or Tom can help you with. Depending on where your area is. But they both know how to make those plans very, very cash rich if that is the goal, as opposed to just the life insurance. Because business owners can have different reasons. Like I said, my primary approaches to it is how can we set more money aside specifically for retirement. So, Mike, if I may, I'll give you an example. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. My wife and I own our business here as a Subchem Press. Right now, as we could afford it, we will basically slice off these term life insurance country, and we convert it to the 20-pay. We just did a couple of 10-pays last year. Conversions on ourselves. As our income is growing, we can afford it. We're slicing off those little pieces. We probably have to get to it's probably 12 or 13 whole life policies now. And I know that sounds excessive, but yet cutting off little pieces as we afford it to convert to the whole life. We've been doing this since our 40s. Okay, so now my wife is 2 years older than I. But when she's 65, we're gonna have about $1.4 billion tax-free cash in our whole life policies. Fantastic. I think it's great. Money that we can use, I can continue for Social Security if I want. It's essentially walking for Social Security. You're basically getting like an 8%, kind of your pay raise by doing that. We're just going to be pulling money out of our whole life on a tax-free basis and travel like we do currently. Travel through a foreign, do what we want without showing income. Because we've got that money specifically set aside for that. I just borrowed against a couple of my policies because we're in the process of building a second Airbnb on 30 acres beyond Georgia. And I don't have to go to the bank and say, please, sir, may I borrow some money from you? Nope. I borrow against my own whole life policies, paying cash to build these Airbnbs and paying myself back through revenue being generated from these Airbnbs. So the old saying that country used to use years ago, eating our own cooking, build our investments. Sure, I'm doing that with my Airbnbs, investing my own money that I've already got set aside for the whole life plans, building these properties and paying myself back. So, and that's going to be ongoing cash, hopefully for the rest of my life. So there's different uses.
I love that, and thank you for sharing that. And I told you today, real life, strategies that Derek has done, and I love it with the executive bonus because I get it. Because you just gave many examples of the wisdom and what wasn't and you and why you care about how you can benefit from those living benefits with their life insurance plan and executive bonus. But if we could, Derek, let's talk about the process. Got folks want to get started. I know they're really interested in hearing about doing that. And I know you've got your marketing specialist going out doing the walking talks, but what would you say to our reps want to get started? How do they need to prepare themselves? What do they want to focus on? That? And I know we talked about the scary part. Not so much that they have all the answers, but they know how to answer the right questions. So what would be some of those things you would advise folks to hey, when you get started Don't do multi-tempered.
Well, my staff, first of all, they ask a lot of questions. And one of our themes here is everybody gets life insurance. Business owner or not, everybody gets life insurance. They're talking to everybody about life insurance. They will identify business and they identify business owners. They came to us because they're buying a new home, they sell for a home and auto. Then they'll provide a list of who are business owners and it works what I refer to as real time. But the business owners, they send it to me. I'll do a follow-up call with them and say, hey, Mike, I understand that you're a plumber. Tell me, and I'll ask, what kind of plumber are you? Install and service septic systems, do construction installs, do you do repairs? What do you do? So I want some interaction, find out more about them and who they are and why they sure. At some point during that, I'll pivot and say, well, that's great. You're a hardworking professional. What are you doing right now? I know you focus a lot of time specifically on this. What are you doing for your individual retirement? And at that point, they're going to tell me, oh, well, we've got this, this, and this. Or, yeah, we've been meaning to do something, but we really haven't. Either way they answer, it's an open. Because if they've got something started off, I would say something along the lines of, okay, well, when was the last time you had it? Is it functioning or performing the way that you wanted it? Last time you talked to your financial professional. And of course, if they haven't started anything, now's the speed time is in. If you're not getting any younger, let's talk. That's right. That's normally the way that I'll approach it. And like I said, a couple of times, life insurance is a part of it. Because I'm personally, I'm not comfortable getting somebody started in investment. Unless I know, especially if they're single, yeah, maybe, get them started on something. But if they're married or they have children, and you've got to have some life insurance. Let's figure out a way to get that started. And with life insurance in regards to the business, like executive bonus, because these are not like $50 a month, $100 a month, policies. I will tell them, don't waste your time unless you're willing to put, $6,000 a year or more into it. I constantly ask for 500, 1,000, 2,000 a month, because that's really big. And if you a lot of these business owners, I'm telling you guys, they won't bat an eye at it. You ask them for $1,000 a month, I'm like, well, okay, well, let me see where I can budget for that. I sold one 2 months ago. We got an issue paid about $1,600 a month. This business is paying toward it. He said, yeah, I can afford that, no problem. Right, let's do it. And we did it, and it's in. So those are great conversations because they, you ask, John and Mary Smith, who's got their home and auto, they're afraid that might bust their budget if their auto is. How much life insurance? And even if you do put $100 a month life policy on, what's the possibility that life gets in the thing? And what's the first thing they always talk about? We can't afford that life insurance. In my opinion, it's not that. That's right. But again, that's a different discussion. But I would know, so business perspective, I can't stress enough that is their abundance. That's business owners. That is absolutely.
So, Terry,
Sir.
yeah, I was going to say this. From the standpoint of an objection, over your experience, what has been one of the most common objections you've got from business owners engaged with business life, and how do you overcome it?
It's just like a non-business owner. It's money. And from a business perspective, it's like, hey, okay, think of this business. If you're a plumber, and you've got to go have a supply of a certain size of PVC pipe. You got to invest in money to have stock. We wrote a very large HVAC contractor 2 months ago. My largest now commercial, they're spending close to $200,000 a year for their premium country. They've got. I was at their warehouse, and they've got small warehouse filled with, in the box HVAC system. Okay, that's an investment they have to make, to have it on hand, so if somebody agrees they're gonna put in a brand new HVAC system, they've got it, they can start the installation the next day or so. So what I tell business owners, if money is an issue, like, this isn't, number one, this is an investment in your business. There are certain tax advantages to business in order to do this, but you as the owner, some of you may have read the book, Pay Yourself First. Pay yourself first. This is part of coming through the business. You're paying yourself first, making sure that money is there for you. These same business owners won't hesitate to go spend, just lunch by yourself. My wife and I were talking about lunch today. Just feed yourself in Chick-fil-A. For crying out loud, that's $15 just for you. Yeah. So two of you go to lunch, $30. You can buy lunch for some folks in your office, you're up to $100 that fast. Right. Well, if I'm asking for $500, I'm asking for $1,000. This is an investment for yourself, for your future. Again, with some tax advantages, money that you put away specifically towards your retirement or some other purpose. Like I said, in my case, money is for my wife's retirement. But we're using some of the capital to build some more Airbnbs on our property to ultimately generate more income. So
Investing in yourself, investing in your business, how much is that worth? And Derek, is ready to continue on and wrap up our city. This has been fantastic. And thank you for really being willing to share what you've done, how you built this business up. And it's so funny, I'm seeing something in the background talking about legacy. And I think you smile and you figure where that was coming from about part of that structure on there. But what do you want to leave us to give us as a takeaway to say, what, don't be scared, get out, make it happen. The resources available that we have to do the kinds of questions they can ask. What kind of counsel give you go forward and be very productive helping business owners like you in your agency? What do you want?
I want to study our products. If you like IUL, like Whole Life, I personally, I love Whole Life, but IUL work the same way. But study the products, learn the products, talk to Scott, talk to Tom, or the other financial guys in your area, the advanced markets folks, and find out how to make these things as cash rich as possible. And again, it's not anything that's going to be an overnight success. It's not like investing in market. Hey, I'm going to get 18% this year. Well, sure, that would be great. Hopefully, it would. Right? So you have to take the long term approach, like because you're playing the long game. So learn your product, know the ins and outs, learn about executive bonus. I know that we have specific information on executive bonus, and that the advanced markets guys can get you some write-ups on it. Even put some programs together specific to your potential business client. So talk to them, engage with them, how to get better in what you do, learn more about your trade. And if you don't know an answer to a question, this goes back to when we all started as agents, saying, Mike, that's a very good question. I don't know the exact answer, but I'm going to find out how to get back to you. That's right. I personally tell people, appreciate it. Yeah. So that's the best thing I can answer is study your product, learn your product. If you like Whole Life, like I said, like I do, stick with it. Like I will, stick with it. You should create some solutions with either one of the products. And at the end of the day, always do the right thing.
Well, Derek, I tell you, I knew this was going to be phenomenal and not disappointing. So, team, everybody join me in giving Derek a great big round of applause for sharing with us proven strategies that work. And what I hope you do is benefit from this and take some things you learned. Going to talk about that later with Derek and put them in practice in your agency. So Derek, thank you so much. You're gonna be able to stay on with us and be around, and maybe at the end with the Q&A, that'll be great to help out with some questions. Derek, thank you so much. Truly appreciate it. And we'll go ahead, get the presentation loaded back up and come down the home stretch. All right. What went that awesome? I mean, Derek just did a phenomenal job for us. So, team, let's pull it all together. Let's talk a little bit more about these business life strategies. So we've got a couple of things here. We're gonna have a little fun with some polls, and I'm gonna ask some questions, and we're gonna kind of test our understanding a little bit about what we've heard today as far as business life is concerned. So, with that, first question is going to be, I'm going to ask you a question. Then I'm going to put the poll in, give me your answers, and then we'll see what the survey says. So, the first question is, this type of coverage protects the business financially if a critical employee passes away, helping offset the cost of disruption or displacement. So, with that said, go ahead and launch the poll. And you tell me what you think it is. Go ahead and directly put your answers in there and submit on the poll. So what is it? Buy, sell, executive bonus, and key person. Go ahead and click on directly on the poll. All right, let's see. We got, okay, the first team, welcome. Survey says. The person. All right, let's try another one. So, next question is going to be, this strategy uses life insurance to ensure a smooth transition, smooth ownership transition if a business owner dies. So, in that case, what strategy would this be?
Strategy uses life insurance. No, insurance.
Oh, you guys are nailing it. Spot on. Spot on. That would be a buy sell. Well done. Well done, everybody. Well done. All right. And last but not least, let's see this approach. This approach provides a personally owned life insurance policy as a reward and retention for a top employee funded by business as a bonus. What do we have? What do we have? All right. Well done. Well done. Executive bonus. Absolutely. Absolutely. Derek shared with us that, but so team, we are ready to help us in business. So give yourself a great big round of applause for that. Spot on. And again, we're ready to go out here and help somebody. So with that said, just a few little reminders about it. From planning strategy, it's like the employee is dealing with business continuity, providing funds to help offset the loss of the employee. So you want to ask yourself, what does that that's irreplaceable in your business, and you want to have the funds to help offset. Executive bonus, that's a retention and a reward that fund the personal benefit for the employee or could be the owner. Consider how you're keeping your top talent for. And again, fund benefit for the employee or the owner and buy sell. Ensuring that smooth transition if a co-owner passes away. The key question is, what's the plan if a co-owner passes away? That's what we want to know. These arrangements collectively provide financial support in critical situations and play a vital role in talent retention and reward strategy. They also assist in safeguarding business's future and ensuring stability during transitions. These solutions can be made between the employer or employee agreement. That understanding may require some legal documentation that needs to be created by an attorney. But life insurance is the preferred tool to fund these solutions. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But here, I want you to reflect on this. Think about how business life insurance can protect your own business. And a little further, what have you done to protect your business using business life insurance? Something for you to ponder as we go on, not only for your clients, but for yourself. So we know about business continuity, arrangement between business owners, really to go about smooth transition something happens to the company. Primary purpose of buy-sell agreement is providing a plan of transfer of ownership. But this requires business evaluation as well as structure. Darren mentioned earlier about cross-sell. There's cross-sell and in purchase, different kind of structures for buy-sell, but which one you? Good thing on that, we don't have to be involved in setting that up. Business owners trust and advisors. Requires the evaluation based on fair market value. But one of the vast benefits of this is to set that valuation now so that in the future, we don't have any conflicts later. We avoid those disputes. We ensure that business continuity, and then we provide additional protection for those stakeholders, safeguarding the financial interests of all parties involved. So, what do we recommend? How do you get the conversation started? Well, one of the things that I would add to would be, and you can do this not only for business owners, but also personal, is when you die, what do you want to have happen? When you die, what do you want to have happen? Then, when did you set up a buy-sell agreement? Do you have a plan of what you want to have happen? And lastly, when did you fund it with life insurance? And so you're wondering why life insurance? Well, we want life insurance because it can be done immediately and not something else. You can get it set up. You don't have dollar resources that you may have for other things in the business. You can use them. Pennies on the dollar for life insurance. And as you look at outline, they pay out in cash, save it, borrow money. But again, life insurance is the easiest way to get those on a cost-effective basis to protect that business. Key person, what do we do to maintain that relationship with that key person? How does it help us provide that book that they want to stay with us? Give them a reason to stay with us and continue growing with us, provide that stability and continuity for the business. The conversation here. What would happen if asking yourself the question, this person, what happens about that? Who else in your business has that kind of impact if they die? And how are you protected against that loss? And again, want to use life insurance to do that because of the immediate funding capability of them. Executive bonus, like buy-sell and key person. Executive bonus is a fantastic way for business to offer living benefits through life insurance. And the main purpose of the executive bonus is to reward, retain top employees, enhance their loyalty and motivation, and also other immediate benefits like those living benefits, flexibility that can be tailored, tax advantage, keeping your retirement, and also benefit from setting up those multiple potential income streams later that you can also benefit from as a business owner, providing that long-term stability for utilizing life insurance. And why life insurance? Financial, tax efficiency of it, the fact that it's immediate, and the many benefits it can provide both, the living benefits of the client as well as their key employee. So as we get ready to wrap up, can you think of 5 potential prospects? So this is what are we going to do in this thing? Think of 5 potential prospects that you can utilize, either in book or out, that you have engaged. It's like utilize what's power like discussion. Get to know them. Because they're, just real simple questions. Hey, when you die, what do you want to have happen? You have a plan, written, and have it funded it. Like, what action can you take for me? Troy Forest Garden, Law Center. Let's get it done. Let's put this in place in the next 72 hours. That way, we'll know, we'll react to it. We'll get it done. A few resources. Just want to quickly share a few resources, and then we'll go ahead and open it up to Q&A. So Nicole, as I go out and share for the resources, let's go ahead and start getting ready for the Q&A aspect and get some of those questions. I know we got some good ones out there from that great information Derek shared. So with that being said, go ahead, share my screen. And see, this is a great dedicated resource that you have to be able to help you do this. Because part of life investments, it's life investments, you can get to it here under resources, and it's under business life insurance. But many resources is not only for your teams, but the producer guide that we have. Be sure to put on and drop that. Buy, sell, funding helps you with that, understanding that. Key employee, just to give yourself a little refresher about what those are and how you can help those clients. If you got some that is say good trade rate, most of this is reference only for you to help get a little additional knowledge. Self-educate yourself. But more importantly, on the support team, financial products, that's your goal. That's, if you will, you want to start in. People like Jose Manuel Perez, Sky Just, and they're there to help you exercise, sales ideas. How do I put it together? Then if you got more complex cases, you got advanced marketing plan, you do that. You got financial specialists that can help you with appointment support seminars that they can do in your market, as well as systemic practice management. And I like case managers to make sure those cases get processed as fast as possible, with less hassle, like they say, less invasive, faster, and more efficient. Get that done for you, and field marketing consultants available to maybe help you with consultation or how to utilize available brand build resources to help you with developing your business. And the last thing I'll show you just real quickly, and then I want to get to the Q&A for Nicole, is this business life producer guide. Fantastic. And the nice thing about it, if you want, when it comes up, it gives you some step-by-steps on what to do. And the nice thing is, under context, whatever you want to go to, cover over, it highlights itself, it'll go right to you. So if you want to do buy, sell agreements, and take you right to that. Again, a great resource, a great tool, take advantage of it. You're not alone. And so with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing, Nicole, and let's go ahead and see what we got going in the chat.
Thank you so much, Mike. And we have Derek, who will be addressing questions, and to speak today, and Scott. And Scott has been kind enough to be answering some of your questions in the chat box already. So I'm going to focus on some of the questions that kind of pertain to what Derek was touching on. Paul Healy said, are you doing 20 Ks or executive whole life, EWL? So it kind of pivots on, you're referring to writing businesses with 10 Ks. How can you avoid a 10K becoming a MEC here? So what do you find is the best type of policy? What works best for the executive folks, please?
Fantastic question. I have used executive loans. I've used the EWL, I used the 20 pay, and I've used the 10 pay. Specific to the 10 pay question of avoiding it becoming a MEC, you can pay the conditions right. There's various ways to build it to avoid it becoming a MEC. But yeah, if you just do a straight 10 pay, more than likely going to be a MEC. So again, that's why I suggest you work with Tom Lawyer, Scott Jensen. They can help create ways to keep them avoided from being back. Or honestly, if you have a client that's, over 59 and a half years. Yeah. So, some of the 10 versions that I've done with my wife and I've done it up to 10 pay. Well, I'm 57 years old, so I don't care. But yeah, they can be built in such a way where you can avoid that issue.
So that leads me into a question from Mary, and she said, you're talking about writing 10 days with large amounts of premium. Why not just write IUL?
Mary, great question. As I mentioned before, I'm not going to go too deep into this. I'm just personally not a big fan of IUL. It's a great product. They've made great changes to it. I've just been in the industry so long. It's a mental hang up that I have on UL. That's just me. It's not a bad product. It's a very good product. Take a look at it. So if that's something that you as an advisor or comfortable using, you think it's at the end of the day, it's the right thing for the client, by all means, use it. It's a good, viable product. It can be used for the same purposes. I just have a personal preference, and that's just a personal thing. So using UL, it's not wrong. Using whole life is not wrong. Both can be utilized to satisfy the same need of what is ultimately right for the client.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So we had another question come in from Andy, and Andy said specifically, Derek, are you paying your site the whole life as an executive bonus to your S board?
Yes, I am. Yes, both my wife and I are on our S corporation. I'm the president of the S corp. She's a secretary, and so we're both on salary. We get paid a bi-weekly salary for the business. With what I pay in additional taxes and what I put into my business simple plan and all that, I think my net pay every 2 weeks is like $12 to $15. But I'm paying myself the executive bonus as well. So yes, starting both question. Next question.
Okay. So we had a question come in from Kate. He said, is the death benefit taxable when it's written off on the business that they owe? To clarify, the business does not write off premium, it writes off compensation.
I'm not going to go into the weeds on the exact tax issues, but it does have some tax advantages to the business. But understand, S corporation or LLC are pass-through corporations, so taxes are okay. That's the bottom line. I can't address the death benefit cost. Life insurance proceeds are going to be tax-free. You as the individual or the owner of the business in this case is the owner, even though the business is paying the premiums, those death benefits are payable to his or her beneficiary, 100% tax-free.
Excellent, thank you so much. So we had another question come in that how often do you add LPAR to it, or are you just doing 100% basis?
Never do 100%. Again, build construction. When I work a lot with Tom Lawyer, he's my financial guy on this part of the southern country. Again, if you talk specifically 10 pay, he and I work together and build them in such a way to avoid that issue. Because if it comes to that like this, screw up. The whole reason we have it in the first place. So we'll put a lot of the issues riders, various other things to keep it from becoming that. Like I said, it's a matter of becoming familiar with it, but working with your Tom Lawyer or your Scott Jensen on there to to make sure that that doesn't happen. Again, unless they're over 16, it's not that big a deal anyway. You know, there's ways to avoid by using the data conditions record.
I think we'll only have time for one more question, and this question came from Robert Portillo. Could you elaborate a little bit more on the tax advantages of this executive bonus?
Well, yeah, this is something that you guys spend some time studying, talking to Steve from. Because initially, when I first started, I thought, oh, they could write off the whole thing as a tax deduction to the business. And it's not quite that simple. It is calculated as payroll to the owner, and then, like in the case of mine, it's calculated as payroll. But you can't necessarily deduct all of that for tax purposes. Because again, it goes back to it being a pass-through corporation. You can double bonus and more money out of the corporation to take care of that additional taxes that you're paying. Because I probably pay $5,000 a month in my executive bonus. That's a lot. Again, it's going to build up. It has been building up nicely for my retirement. But no, that's not all a deduction from our business expenses. I wish it was, but I will not be telling the truth if I said that. Talk to a tax professional, get more details on what can be deducted, but there are certain advantages by being able to write off certain things as a business expense that will help them and be a tax advantage.
Thank you so much.
All right, sounds good. Nicole, thank you for, going through the questions. We had Chad, hopefully we had opportunity to get to yours, but here's the good news. I forgot to mention earlier, this session is recorded. So it will be recorded and we'll be putting it out on Level Up later for you to review it, either if you got in late or if you just want to look at it again. So team, all the damn members, and Darren and I have been tricky fans, and that is the job of the faith. Let's go help somebody make this go. Be well, everybody. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate all of you. Take care.